Hello and welcome back to the S.H.E Gallery show. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being with us, Teal.
Thank you for having me.
TEEL One, that's TEEL One. And you are with us live. It's a brand new year. It's a brand new season, season 14. Oh my gosh.
Congratulations on that.
Wow.
That's a lot of seasons.
That is a lot of seasons. That's a lot of years. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of Chicago. That's a lot of New York. That's a lot of California. And we look forward to having more guests from different parts of the world coming up this season. I don't really have a set schedule, to tell you the truth. So, it's kind of a free flow season, and it'll be a good one. But we're really excited to have Teal kicking this off. We actually ended the year with Teal blessing Momentum Art Tag. We had a celebration for the 50 years of hip hop. Last season, as you may remember, we spent all of our season actually celebrating hip hop. So we kicked off the year. We ended the year actually celebrating hip hop, and now we're kicking it off celebrating Teal as an artist. So you're with us live. And Teal, I'm going to hand this on over to you. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about your background as an artist?
Okay. As an artist, I've started in 88, 89. I'm not really sure about that time because it's a very long time ago. But I was like 12, 13 years old. Started on the north side of Chicago in Edgewater. Everybody's pretty much heard this story already, where I just, started my graffiti career there. Didn't know that there was other writers in the neighborhood. Come to find out that was like a very hot spot for a lot of writers. Like there was tons of activity in that area, and I wasn't aware of it because I was really young. A lot of my peers started doing graffiti as well, and we all kind of just combined, and we were all hanging out. So it was a beautiful time when I was growing up on the north side. I saw a lot of crews like TCK, J4F, X-Men, CMW. It was just like tons and tons of crews coming out of it. There was like hundreds and tons. I want to even say thousands, because when we would go to Medusa's, there would be thousands of kids there. Yeah, there was like, we would pour out in like crowds. So,
it's interesting. I asked you how long you've been an artist, and you automatically started answering how long you've been writing.
Yeah, because that to me is what bridged me into becoming an artist. I didn't take my art serious.
That just shows. It's dope.
And to me, it wasn't like, I guess if you really want to like mark my art time, would be when I moved to Berwyn. After my dad saw that we were getting into too much trouble, and typical Latino family, take the kid out of the neighborhood and put him somewhere else. You think that the kid's gonna get better, and it's just like you're just moving the problem somewhere else. So I kind of like, he planted me in this area that was like super virgin to me, and it was like explosion of art, and other people were like being, I was like a magnet to it. So it was like, graffiti writers are coming out of the woodwork, and people were starting to do graffiti because of me and all this other stuff. And I had my younger brother with me everywhere I went. So when I went to Morton East, I met a teacher there. His name is Mr. Salerno. And he's actually the one that put the bug in my ear about that I should be doing my graffiti on canvases.
Wow. That's a different story. We normally don't hear that one.
Yeah, so he kind of made me his like assistant in the class, like, because he saw the potential in me. He taught me how to do frames, cut them into angles, put them together, then stretch the canvas, and then gesso it, like every step. He taught me paper mache, just things that as a city kid we didn't have. It was like, and as a graffiti writer we thought it was kind of stupid. It was like, what do you mean paint on the canvas? And I came up from that neighborhood that Edgewater and Uptown. The writers there were so hardcore about graffiti not going on canvas that it was like embedded into me. So it's kind of like I was like fighting my, my teachings. Like it was like my DNA was like, don't do that. Don't sell out. Don't become this.
Don't sell out.
Yeah, and
we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of why I brought it up, so we can like segue to that later. But, like, it's like, and then he put me into the school show, and it was like instant like gratification. Everybody was like patting me on the back. I was winning awards from the show that I did. They actually got me a scholarship to Columbia College, which is a whole nother story. Like I can go on to like.
Well, you went to Columbia College, but you didn't.
Oh, it was the Art Institute. I'm sorry, my bad.
The Art Institute. Well, you went to an art school, but
Yeah.
you didn't like really continue to study there.
No,
Right.
no. The teacher that I had at the time was because the Art Institute, everybody knows this about them. They're very they have a format of antiquity. They do things. They study the masters, and they teach you that format. It's not, and I can't say that about Colombia, but that's how I feel that Colombia is. It's more free for all, more open, more modern. And when I got there, my first week, they brought in a naked model. And
I remember this story.
I'm a kid from the city, right? And it was the 90s. It was kind of weird. We were like, what the hell is this guy doing here naked? The teacher's telling me to draw him. And then she like starts to yell at me because I'm not drawing his junk the right way, you know? And as a dude,
That's really uncomfortable.
yeah, and I'm getting yelled
That's all
at
I wanna say.
by a woman that's telling me that his junk isn't the way I see it, and it's like I don't even want to look at it. Like I'm kind of like, you know what I mean? I'm like looking down and like looking away. I'm like,
Mom, me van a
you
regañar.
know. So I lost it, and I told the lady to go fly a kite. You know, of course I said a
my
bunch of other things to her. You know, it wasn't just that. I'm trying to keep it clean. You know.
Yeah, so Art Institute was not for you, but as we see you progress as an artist, we see that you didn't allow that to stop you from progressing.
No.
No.
My brother and my friends, my group, my crew, a few of them went to professional art schools like Pratt in New York. I don't know, that's a very like high-end school in New York, art school. And so I would like learn from them, you know. They would like they paid like $100,000 to go there for like 4 years, and I was like picking their brain to like how to do things, techniques and stuff, you know. So it was like they were like, hey, I would tell them things like weird things, you know. To them it was weird, like how, because I'm not used to using a brush. It's all spray paint. Like if you want to do a spray paint line, I could teach you how to do that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a brush, you know, I had to learn how to do it, and you know, you have to use the pinky, and some people use a stick, and how to hold your breath and all that stuff. You know, those are
All
techniques.
these techniques.
Yeah.
But, you know, a lot of those techniques are also applied when you're using, you know, when you're working with graffiti
paint, yeah.
outdoors. A lot of other techniques that you cannot learn in school. Not in the Art Institute, not at Columbia, not anywhere else. And that's what makes it so beautiful and so special.
Yeah.
We can continue to talk about your art, but I want people to see some of your artwork. A lot of people may be familiar with Teal's graffiti art if you've known him personally as a graffiti artist. And some people may be familiar with some of his most recent line of work, which is the Sellout. But maybe you're not familiar with some of his other styles of work, and there's so many. So why don't we, Manny, please, let's show the audience some of his artwork as we talk about this series of the Sellout. Talk to us about Sellout, please.
So the Sellout series that I have is kind of, again, going back to my upbringing in the Uptown Edgewater area. We were very against making money on our art form. You didn't want to make money on graffiti. Hip hop was supposed to be this like free for all, like it was a way of living and all that stuff, but you weren't supposed to make money off of it. So they would consider you a sellout. Growing up, and especially when I went to that high school, Morn East, I learned from these teachers that they were telling me that, well, your favorite artist, who is it? And, you know, I would name De La Soul and Common Sense and all these people that, you know, I'm a big fan of. And they would say, well, why aren't they considered sellouts? You know, and then I would, you know, they would kind of question and it wasn't to like start anything with me. It was just to make me think.
Yeah.
So you know, you had to learn how to like be able to rebuttal and have conversations, right? You can't just get mad and be like, oh, that's it.
Is it a fear of wealth?
I think it's a
think?
fear of change.
Okay.
I think it's because if we start to make money on our art, someone might be able to tell us what they like and kind of steer us a certain way, and then we change who we are as artists. Like that's, I think that the fear that a lot of artists have, especially graffiti artists. Like
Yeah,
I
I see a
want to
lot
have
of friendships and stuff have broken up
yes,
due to this transition. I've experienced that personally.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard. Sorry, I didn't go
No,
ahead.
no, it's okay. I mean, you know, again, it's a conversation, right? We both have
Yeah.
to talk.
So this is sarcasm that we're seeing
Yes,
here.
it's very
Beautiful.
heavy. Again, because of me being Cuban and my Mexican side as well, we have this like dark humor. If you ever listen to someone telling a joke in Spanish, they're very heavy, very double sided. Some of them are extremely dark. You know, it's kind of like
Is the romantic languages, they always sound like,
yeah, but
yeah.
sometimes they say things and you're just like, damn, you'd never get away with that in English. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
You just told me that I should die. But I didn't mean like that. Like, you know, it's like, but you said that in Spanish, you know, it's like, oh, it doesn't mean that, you know? So it's like, I play a lot with the words. So for example, my last piece that I did for the hip hop show, the 50 years that we did at the Momentum Art Lab, it was the track team, right? So I did a train running train tracks.
We have that in our slide. Was there an issue?
I
Can we
think
go
it was
back
one
to
of the
slide?
last.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll probably be hard to find or whatever.
Yeah, but you can continue.
Yeah. So what I did was, because I used to joke around with my teachers in high school, I would tell them, they would always ask me how I would stay so fit. You know, back in the day I was skinny, a little chunkier now. But like I would tell them it's because I'm on the track team, and they'd be like, "Oh, really? You're on the high school track team?" I'm like, "No, I'm on the CTA track team." And it was because I was running train tracks every night. You know, every single night I was running train track. So that's what kept me healthy, I told them. So I took that and made that kind of a joke, and I did this form of art where the train was running on the train tracks, and then it says track team. So I kind of made it like a high school shirt, where it would say the high school's name on it, like track team.
Yeah.
So
We'll be able to take a look at that. And then you also turned that into a clothing line.
I did. I did.
So we know that you're a graffiti artist, and we
Correct.
see that you're also an interdisciplinary artist when it comes to your visual arts. And you're also an entrepreneur. You're a business owner, and you actually started to sell paint.
Yes.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the need for that?
Yeah, so the sale of paint was kind of a situation that the city got itself into. In 1993, in May of 1993, give or take, it was around that time, they banned spray paint. It was 94, actually, I'm sorry. So the city doesn't sell spray paint here. And then in 90 or 2000, something like that, someone started bringing in this brand of paint called Montana from Spain. And the guy opened up a shop here. Okay, so it was like 2000, I want to say, we opened in 2008, so he probably opened up in 2006, right? His business was going well. He made a few decisions that maybe weren't good for him in the long run, and he closed. So then there was literally a year of this no more, we call it fancy paint or good quality paint. And so me and my brother were sitting around, like, well, this is crazy. Like, I don't understand why there isn't a way to get this paint. And we were like, well, why don't we just open up we'll start selling paint? So we reached out to a few companies. We got I think we were like the first, the second. What?
And it's been now 15 years for that, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And so something else that you've done that's new is you also illustrated a children's book and you created it.
Yeah, the Green Llama.
Yes.
I illustrated that book with my 3 other partners. There's 4 of us. We had this crazy idea of creating the Green Llama character off of one of our partners. So it's kind of like it started off as a joke, and then it became this like big thing. And we have this it's a STEM and STEAM book for kids, from kindergarten to like 2nd or 3rd grade, depending on the school. But yeah, that's what we're actually opening a cafe.
There goes the track team.
That's the track team right there. Yeah,
That's the cafe.
that's the back wall on the cafe.
And
Yeah.
you just painted that.
Yes.
Talk to us about Happy Food.
So Happy Food is also part of the Sellout series. The Happy Food is it actually shows more of the underdog version of
That's a
the way I
clothing line.
believe. Yeah, that's part of the clothing line
Sorry.
for track team. No, it's okay. That's the sophisticated llama that I did.
I saw the series, the making. I saw that in the making.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So what was I saying? I went blank.
You were talking about Happy Food,
Oh,
how
yeah.
it's a part of the series for the Sellout.
Right. So depending on the type of parody that I'm doing or the poking fun of. So for example, a lot of people pay attention to the main character, which is like one of them is
The Green Llama.
yeah, there he is, the Hamburglar, right?
Oh,
Everybody
this is for the
would-
Happy Food.
yeah, everybody will look at the Hamburger and be, oh, that's such a great character. I love him. It reminds me of my childhood, this and that. But in that painting, it's actually the cheeseburger that's falling out of his bag. The whole funny thing about it is that the cheeseburger is happy to be eaten. So that's why it's called Happy Food. So the food is actually excited that it's going to be eaten by someone. That's its whole like purpose in life, right?
That is so funny.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the underdog story that I also
In
believe that.
reverse.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, "How do you feel like you're an underdog?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just always feel like I'm an underdog." Like that's why I'm always fighting to be to the top, because it's like I feel that I'm always at the bottom. So I'm like still trying to climb up, and a lot of people are like, "No, you're still up there. You're up there," and I'm like, I don't think I am.
It's interesting, right? And maybe that's just you wanting more for yourself, which is a really good thing. What I've seen of you, has been more of a person in leadership positions, both as an entrepreneur and a leader. Now recently that I'm working with you now, I'm learning more about you as an artist.
Yeah.
And I think that when you are in that position of leadership, it is really hard to try to upkeep with trying to be an artist, right? Because you have so many different hats that you're trying to wear. So how do you balance that?
I always look at it like it's a constant project, one after the other. Like I don't look at it like so what I guess kind of put it like a garden, right? You plant a lot of seeds and you just keep watering them until one of them sprouts, and you just keep working and you just go back and keep watering and then keep going back and forth. So I don't concentrate because this, I listen to a lot of like life coaches and all these
So
people.
you find your mentorships.
Yeah,
People
yeah.
that you look up to, books.
Right. And then I hear the audio things and the podcasts and all that stuff, to keep my mind going and all that stuff. And I always hear them say that you should concentrate on one thing at a time, finish that, and then go on to the next, right? But
I don't know how they do that.
I can't.
I would never be able to do anything.
I can't, because it's like we have so many things that we've got going on, and it's like for me to like wait for this one little seed to grow, it'd be like years later, especially in this city, right?
Yeah.
Because to get anything going here, it's
And
like,
even if you do get a flower growing,
Yeah.
you never know when it's gonna die.
exactly. So I'd rather have a whole
You
garden.
overwater, you don't water, you
Yeah.
forgot to water, you forgot the
Exactly.
plant existed.
Yeah, somebody comes and cuts it off.
That happens.
So I always try to keep everything in domino effects. That's why people, when they look at my Instagram and they see me all the time, they're like, dude, you just came out with that clothing line. Now you have another one coming, and there's like skateboard lines coming out and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's like, how do you
We
do
were
that?
trying to finish one painting.
Yeah,
You're like,
right.
oh, I need a clothing line. We're like,
Yeah, that's how I do it.
all right. So that's pretty amazing. So Battle for the City is kind of like a sort of a festival that you put together. It was in its third year, and there was a very important person that recently passed away. Dewar. I want to take a moment to recognize him. Even though I don't know him, I know that he served as an important person for you and everybody that was helping orchestrate, events like that. We recently lost Orko. it's even hard to like process to believe that that actually like happened. So that's I want to take a moment to recognize that loss. Vones is somebody else that I personally knew growing up from Air Crew in the early to mid 90s. He was part of Boy Girl production. He also just passed away. My best friend just survived, thank God. But there was a lot of losses this year, so I just wanted to take a moment for them during these last few minutes. If there's anybody else that you want to take a moment to recognize, and then just leave the audience with, some words.
Well, I mean, I have two good friends of mine that passed. That were years ago, but one was E S C, and then the other one was Chet. Those were personal losses that we had within our own little clique, our own crew. But I think that the only thing that it's a new year. We're starting out. I think everyone needs to stay focused on what we're doing, planting these seeds. Summer's coming. The winter doesn't last forever. So what we need to do is just keep going. Get your ideas ready. Start to especially again because we're in the city. We have this beautiful time and I know a lot of people look at it like it's a negative thing, but you're kind of stuck in the house for 6 months, right? Because of the winter. We should take that time that you're at the house, that you have no choice but to be home, to create, write down your ideas, put them into action. If you can't put them into action, try to find someone that can help you or talk to someone that could try to get the ball rolling. If you want to reach out to me on Instagram, I'm always there. People are constantly hitting me up. Like I have like 100 messages every day when I wake up in the morning, and I answer every single one of them. I know that sounds crazy, but that's part of my morning routine. It's like, let me answer, or at least put a laughing emoji on a video that someone sent me, because they took the time to do that. A text message that someone sent me, I'll answer it. Most people know that I'm really quick at it. I get constantly criticized about that. Like, you shouldn't be answering people right away, but it's like, you don't know what that person's going through, It's like you want to give them the time. They gave you the time to just answer the message, and just keep your projects going. Don't stop them. Don't let anybody stop you. All these walls that people are putting up for you, they're just there for you to climb over. Don't let anybody bother you. Just keep focused. That's how I've done everything in my whole life. Like, every time I started my cruise, people would try to stop us, and we would just keep going and going and going, and we just wouldn't stop, and we don't stop. And it's the same thing with my companies. I refuse to stop until they're successful, and
What is successful?
well, I think that being successful in a business is where the business is paying its bills, and then it has a little bit something to give you, where it's like you can come home with a check instead of working for Uncle whoever, Sam, or a big chain. You're working for yourself, So
Yeah.
if you have a business that's giving you the same paycheck you would give to a bigger company, and you're coming home with, I don't know, $600-700, that freedom of being able to move whenever you felt like it, like, oh, my stomach hurts today. Hey, I'm gonna leave. I'll see you later. You don't have to ask for permission to do that, or to go to the bathroom. It's like I don't know how many places you've worked
Freedom,
at.
freedom,
Exactly.
freedom. I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
that's
Freedom.
what success is to me, is financial freedom. When I
Financial
have,
freedom and freedom. Yeah.
when there's money that's coming in that you could do as you please, that's freedom. It's like, I'm going to go to the Caribbean tomorrow and spend a week there. You have the ability to do that because you're self-employed, As long as there's someone covering the business, or that your clients know that you'll be back and that they're waiting for you, that's freedom, That's how I look at it. A lot of people think that I'm crazy over making money, and it's not. I just
It's that sellout thing.
Yeah,
That's
right.
why I'm like, gotta come on the show and let people know that you don't mean it, that it's
Right.
sarcasm.
Exactly.
We have 1 minute. I just want to say thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with me, for working with S.H.E Gallery. We're so excited. We just had such a dope show, and we're going to keep doing a bunch of amazing things this year.
We
So
are.
keep on the lookout for that. We're really excited to start building, growing, and sharing these opportunities so that they're not just in your journals that they're actually coming to life. And something very important that Teal mentioned is to talk about them, to check on your friends, to respond to messages. Don't be stuck up, you know. You don't just you think because you got 3,000 followers or whatever that you're too cool, because you never know, and you never know who you're talking to. You know, I feel like arrogance in my very few years of experience has really blocked people from anything.
Yep.
You can be a great artist, but if you're super arrogant, where you're really not appreciating your fans, the fans that actually make you, you know, that's not cool. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Such an honor. And that went by so fast. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.